Hey folks, it's Freezair, and welcome back to Let's Play Little Monster. In the last episode, we didn't actually get a whole lot done. I showed off a couple new monsters, but mostly we just sort of screwed around with GemRock. And in this episode, I did a couple of things off screen. I played GemRock some more, I got some actual money in my pockets, and in this episode we're going to buy a few items to start things off with. As you can see, I now have 147 coins. That's a lot more than we had. And with that, I am going to buy jelly! Are you jelly? I'm jelly. Jelly. Jelly is the highest ranked healing item. It will fully heal you. But that's not why we're giving it to our monster, although poor LP does need some jelly. No. We're giving it to her because jelly bestows lots of love. Look, we have 78 love now, and that is much better than we had before. And that means we'll execute attacks much faster and with much more alacrity. Now, I think in this episode, we're going to press the plot forward a little bit. I do want to screw around with GemRock a little bit more, get some more, stun gems from the arena. But right now, I think we're going to go to Tan Field. And look, we're in a new area. This is Tan Field. It is full of dandelions, which are yellow and purple and not tan at all. No, of course, the reason it is called Tan Field is because the Japanese word for dandelion is Tanpopo. And so it is full of dandelions, and so, Tan Field, Tanpopo Field makes sense. Although, these really are little monsters, if those dandelions are life-size. So, in the last episode, we failed to defeat Elias quite a few times, as a matter of fact. In this episode, we're going to take him down, and I think we're going to do a much better job of it. So come on out and fight us, Elias! Elias? Thank you. Sorry, my keyboard is behaving weird there. Ooh, look, and we can show off stun to start with. See, he's paralyzed now and he can't attack us. So we can kick him in the face! Or kick him in the dishpan, woo, as Courage the Cowardly Dog might say. Yeah, he's gonna go down much easier now that we've got our stunning with us. I probably should have healed, though. Elias was defeated! 4 experience gained and 2 coins gained? What? Yes, we're actually getting more than 1 coin from enemies now. And upon Elias's gem there is a fist of pain and power. For Elias it's associated with not an item, the punch gem. And this is a gem of punching and stuff. But when we set the punch gem, we actually encounter a monster we really need to fight. It's Libby! This is actually one of my favorite monsters from the original game. Well, this is the original game, but one of my favorite monsters from when I played this game as a kid. It's not particularly powerful, it's fairly weak in fact, and it doesn't really have, anything particularly special about its design, but I was always really attached to it, and it is attached to one of my favorite gems, which is Charm. Charm is like stun, only it does less damage, but it still bestows paralysis, which is very, very useful. So we are going to be beating up several Libbies. See, it has a little kissy on it, see? Kissy. And kissing people stuns them, apparently. 3 experience, 1 coin. Yeah, back to 1 coin. But we are going to need 4 of those suckers. Count them, 4. So I will see you when I have got 4 of them. Okay, I'm back. I only have 3 of them, but I thought I'd show off the fight for the last one, because there's a couple things I'd like to point out. For one thing, you may notice that now that we have much more loyalty, or love, we now move much faster after selecting an attack. It's not quite instantaneous, but it's close, and we got paralyzed. And Libby's gonna heal. Oh man. See, I like doing that on my side. I like paralyzing somebody and then using the free turn to heal, but not quite as fun when people do it to you, and Libby confused me, oh no! See, enemy Libbies, although they don't have a whole lot of HP experience points, they don't have a lot of those either, they do have a deck that's full of status effects. Level up! Oh, it really was a good thing that I showed that. Now we have 129 health. How lovely. How wonderful. We are going to put these in place of... I think we'll put them in place of nail, because we don't have any nail gems to play with yet. And I can use these to show off a few new monsters. Let's attempt to get something from the area. Is there anything? There is nothing to be found. Oh, well, that's a crying shame then. The item that you can find here is oranges, I do believe, and also a special item, but we'll get to that later. Now, with these nail gems, they also lead to a monster whom we need to fight. What might that be, you ask? Cupie. Sorry. This is not the monster I thought we need to fight. Cupie is kind of hilarious as an opponent. Would you like to see why? It has only 70 HP. And that's like 30 HP less than the minimum you as a player could have. Cupie is just that weak. I believe it has the same inherent strength as Hebo, so it's really bottom of the barrel. But you have to admit, it's a pretty cute little design. It's a little winged dolphin thing with a heart on its forehead. And it drops a very useful gem. It drops the heal gem. We could put more heal gems in our deck if we would like. We can't have a maximum of 4, and we only have 2. But I think we'll save on that for now. Let's see. Oh, geez. Now I'm forgetting. What is the gem which we need to set in order to see the monster which we so desperately need to see? I know it's a basic gem. Let me look at my deck. Oh, right. It's Kick. Let's put an extra heal in place of Kick. It can't hurt anything. Now, Kick is the gem that creates Marion, but when we set it, it leads to Louver! Louver is a pretty adorable design. He's got all those horns and things. Louver's also not particularly tough, but it does drop another valuable gem. Considering that the other 2 valuable gems we've been looking for have both had stunning properties, you can probably guess that this indeed does have stunning properties as well. It is the Flash Gem. It is a gem that allows us to show naughty things to our opponents. No, it just makes it so it looks like you've got a camera, and the camera flashes. But it's very useful. We'll put that in our deck, and we are going to get 4 of those as well, so I will see you on the other side of 4. Okay, everybody, I am back. I've got, enough flash gems to feed an army. And I will put them in over Kicks because I started doing that. But I'm actually going to put the Kicks back in my deck because, as I alluded to earlier, Kick is actually the most powerful of the basic gems. So put them in place of Punch. Punch isn't that spectacular. Yeah, Punch, Needle, Nail, Catcher, and I think there's one more. I can't remember. All of them do basically the same amount of damage. Disappointing, but true. Lots of basic attacks. So yay! We now have a pretty well kitted out deck. This can paralyze a lot of things. It does decent damage. But there is one more gem I'm going to attempt to get before we take on the boss of this area. And that can be obtained... Why am I not thinking properly? This is embarrassing. What am I trying to... Oh, first of all, we're going to need a charm. Thank you. This should be quick, though. A couple of kicks to the face, lots of charms. Yeah, if you have more than one stunning gem in your hand, you won't get anything good out of them if you use them in a row. For the most part, they're just going to, paralyzation lasts until the end of your next attack. So even if you attack with a paralyzing thing, the paralyzing goes off. You can't stun lock people. But here we go. We now have a charm, and we are going to set that charm. And as you can see, it leads to an interesting monster. This monster's name is Mule. I don't know why, because it doesn't look anything like a mule. Unless you mean it looks ridiculous. I guess mules look ridiculous. No, Mule is kind of a neat little monster. It's stronger than the ones we've seen before. It has some much stronger attacks. But it drops an interesting gem that I really want to get my hands on. Looks like a wave. It gives us a decent amount of experience points, but this move is actually Gem Wave. And it is kind of a status effect-y move. We'll go into our deck. Put them in place of 2 of these catchers, shall we say. And what Gem Wave allows you to do is actually change up your opponent's hands. It also resets their speed, so it's another useful way to stop them from attacking. And if they have something in their hand that you don't want them using on you, then it's a great way to stop them. So I think I'll get 1 more of those. Another battle with Mule. And oh look, we can use it, see? It's got powder. I don't want it using powder on me because that leads to confusion. Plus it gives me an opportunity to flash them and kick them in the face. As you can see, we're pretty strong here, and you can get pretty strong like this pretty early on, but you're gonna need it because some of these early bosses are actually pretty tough. And I lied. I know I said there was one more gem I wanted to get, but there's actually another one, which can be gotten by placing the heal gem. Ooh, he looks kind of tough, doesn't he? Well, this big bad boy that we have here is Giran, and he actually is kind of tough. He has the same HP as Mule, but he has some fairly dangerous attacks. But the attack that he drops is fairly dangerous as well, so for defeating him, you will be well rewarded. Ooh, he nailed me. That's not too powerful, though. See, one charm, he's done with. He gives you... Oh, look! It's got a kicking foot on it, just like Marion's gem, but it's got a J on it, because this is the jump kick move, or high kick move as they call it. And I will put this in with the gem wave, and the high kick, and one more of those, and I think we'll be set to go on to the next couple of areas. You know what? Let's go now. We head down here. It's another neat little area, just covered in dandelions. Nothing too dramatic. I think I will fight myself yet another one of these magnificent Girans. See you then. And there we go. I believe our deck is adequately flashed out for the time being. Get it? It's like a pun on fleshed out, but with flash. Whatever. And with this, we will finally go to the next area where our opponent awaits.
Didn't Hunt Joe send you to find me? Your battle skills won't improve when bound by stupid rules. Watch out for the strength of my superb gen deck.
By which he means his cheaty one. Yes! This is Cool Joe! And he has really cool battle music, and he also has a really powerful monster called Gyro, which as you can see has Heal X4 in his deck, and lots of gen waves. He's pretty powerful. And I'm not gonna lie, the first time I played this game as a kid, he kicked my butt. And you only get one shot at most bosses in this game. If you don't defeat them, they go away forever, and most of them drop unique gems. But he doesn't look too happy about fighting us. Look at how, like, derpy his eye is. I actually thought he had, like, a weird sideways mouth at first. And those two weird small dots were his eyes, and oh no, he gemmed wave us. But luckily that didn't last too long, because our speed was almost full. Now here's our high kick! Whoopah! Kung Fu moves. Oh no, we can't let him heal. Yeah! Gyro was defeated. His gem is all. He is all the gems! No, it's called Dowser, and we get 30 experience points for that. Oh my goodness. Only 6 coins, but still, that's a ton of experience points, and we still didn't level up. You actually need quite a lot of experience points to level up in this game.
That monster was too weak. You were lucky this time.
Yeah, no periods or anything there.
I can't stand you lucky guys. Don't come back again.
Oh, we'll be seeing him plenty more. Believe you me. And for some reason, that makes all the dandelion blossoms go away. But that's a good thing, because in this area, we can pick up something rare, and you can always pick it up in this area. The non-seed. I don't know why they call it a non-seed. Is like a non-seed rock Pixar reference? I don't know. If you go to this last little area here, it's just basically another normal dandelion area. Excuse me. Nothing particularly dramatic to see here. But if you go back to the gem school? That's not where I meant to go. I will not pay your fee. Sorry, you need to pay. Well, no, I won't. I refuse. If you go back to Tan Fields area, and it's a different one this time? That's a weird thing about Tan Fields. Sometimes you think you're going back to the same area, but it ends up being a different one. It's like the areas move around, and I don't get what's up with that. And also, sometimes if you choose the wrong one, here you go. If you always go back to this area, you're always going to get another non-seed. Which is a good thing in this case, because you actually want lots of them, because you're going to need a couple of them. You can give them to monsters, and in this case, we are going to give it to a Libby, because I love Libbies. And when it says, seems like he wants you to follow him. Yes, this is actually the way you open up the next area. Almost every area in the game will be opened up by giving an item from a particular area to a monster in another particular area, and they will show you the next one. In this case, this opens up the way to we went past it very fast there. Aloe Lake. But we are not going to go there in this episode, because we got a lot done in this episode. I showed off a bunch of monsters. We made my deck almost what it's going to be for the rest of the game. We are going to add, different attack spells to it, but for the most part, it's what I want it to be. Oh, and I'm going to need square gems, of course. So, instead, I think we're just going to go back to a random area of Tanfield. This one is nice. And say, you know what, guys? Goodbye for now. I'll see you in a little bit.